What's up, y'all? Hadn't been making any content just because, I have been working on some stuff in the background, and I also just like, I don't know, with the election and stuff coming up, I've just been trying my best to stay offline because the amount of just absolute fucking garbage going on the internet, it just blows my mind. And I will say, I am working on a video about a creator who just, I don't even know what to describe it as. I don't like, I don't know. It was such a weird thing to observe. And I won't name this creator until I put out the video because I'm really trying to use a lot of nuance to point out a lot of flaws and the lies that this creator is just spouting off at. And I'm going to save all of that for a more well together, or more well together put video, because this is just me ripping off the cuff just to put something on my channel since I haven't put anything out there. I also haven't put anything out there because there are a lot of people. I won't say a lot of people because I have like 35 subscribers. I'm fucking nobody. Like, if you came across my videos and were like, look, like, I had somebody come across my video and was just like, look at this grifter. Like, and I'm like, no, this is just pure passion. This is just me talking about something that genuinely upset me because some snot-nosed little bitch was like, I hope you get PTSD. And I'm just like, then go back to fucking Lebanon. Like, if America is so fucking horrible to you, please go back to the country that your parents fled from to bring you here. Like, there's a reason why, like, I didn't make a video about Mia Khalifa who jumped on the bandwagon, because it's just like, then go back to your home country. Go back to the country where your family fled from for safety, where you probably would have been sold off at the age of 14 to some wealthy businessman to be his wife. Go home. Go home. If America is so horrible to you, go home. Go back to Lebanon. That's just like, let's be for real. Like, it genuinely trips me out that people come to America, and not to say that people have to come here, or that America is even one of the safest places in the world to be, depending on where you are. But this country has caused so much turmoil in other countries that people, in some ways, try to come here thinking that they'll have a better and safer life. And in many ways, especially depending on where you are, you will have a better and safer life. But to turn around and wish evil upon people who equally don't have the safety net that you do, even though they are American citizens. They don't have the safety nets in place because that, ironically, is how America works. Pretty much just like every other country. If you have money, you're good. But if you don't, fuck you. We don't care. Like, there are a lot of social safety nets that we do and don't have. Some that were essentially, like, there's a lot of things that were in place in I will say, in like in older generations. But you have a lot of people, like, I can say specifically, like, my father was in the army for 20 years, and he went to the army because my mom got pregnant with my sister. And then my grandmother found out that my mom was pregnant before she could get an abortion. And then they kind of had a shotgun wedding where my dad's mother and sister showed up in black and acted real fucking ugly. And it was a whole fucking mess. So, like, it's one of those things where it's like, had you just put in the effort to go to college, because my dad, since getting out of the military, has not put in the effort to actually go and get an education, which genuinely surprises me that he's in the position that he is as an assistant hospital administrator with no educational background in medicine or, administration, or, kind of questioning the VA on that one. But I'm not behind the scenes. I'm not a higher up. I'm not whoever decided they wanted that man in that position. That's on them. Apparently they're very happy with that choice because they pay him enough to live very comfortably. Not that he does anything with that wealth to actually help his family and the numerous children that he has, but he lives comfortably enough. So that just goes to say, like, I mean, that's just the history that I know. And I really just question why, if you hate what America does, then why do you live in this country? And that's not to say that Americans don't hate the military and hate what it does and hate the fact that they go over and destroy other countries full of also equally poor people. Because I promise you, there are some places in America, like Mississippi and Louisiana, that are just as poor and destitute as shit, any Middle Eastern country. There are people with no education. I mean, shit, up until like maybe like the early 2000s, there were still people who were living on plantations as slaves in places in America. So, like, I, for one, I hate what the military does. I hate what a lot of the upper echelons of this country does. I do. I hate it immensely because at the end of the day, there's so much wealth to go around that could be spread further. But instead, we're destroying our middle class, destroying, what little most people have, to the point where, the ultra wealthy are essentially trying to own everything. So you'll rent, you'll own nothing, and you'll be happy about it. Everything will be a subscription. Everything will be like, you won't own your own home. You'll only rent, and that's the way that they want it. They want to own everything and give other people nothing. And I for one am pretty fucking sick of it. And it really makes me sad that there are so many people here that are just so fucking brainwashed. Like, I genuinely cannot believe my eyes that people know. Like, Donald Trump is a convicted felon. He's a convicted felon who tried to have his own vice president murdered because he would not do what he said and would break the law and declare the 2020 election to be invalid. Like, think about that. Please remember, people, please remember all the money that Donald Trump owes for raping that woman. Like, and not even just raping one woman, raping multiple people, for paying off a porn star so she would stay quiet, who actively cheats on his wife all the time. Like, I don't know, it just boggles my mind. Like, I don't like Kamala at at all, honestly. When she was attorney general and was prosecuting parents for like their kids not being in school for truancy, it, like, that kind of shit just like really really rubbed me the wrong way. And a lot of times the parents that she would be going after when she was attorney general were black people. So it genuinely boggles my mind, though, that as much as I dislike Kamala Harris, she doesn't want to put me in a concentration camp, right? Like, she doesn't want to dismantle like marriage equality. She doesn't want to dismantle abortion rights and shit like that. Like, I really wish people would really look into Project 2025, and instead of dismissing it or saying that it holds no weight or that there's not like there's no way that that's gonna happen. Okay, sure, you can think that, but Donald Trump, even though he's tried to distance himself from Project 2025, he still has his own Project 2025 that he's just relabeled Agenda 47. It's still the same thing. He's still going to take your rights away and punish you for not just going along with his bullshit. This is not a good thing. Like, I'm begging people to please stop acting like this dude is gonna do anything for you. Like okay, like people don't have to endorse Kamala and Tim Walz. They don't have to do that whatsoever. But at least they're not trying to take your rights away. They're in fact trying to give you more. Like that's like one thing I wish people would really understand. Like, free press, free speech, those things only apply as long as you agree with whatever side when it comes with Donald Trump when it comes to Donald Trump's side. Like, I really wish people would understand that. He's not he's immediately going to dismantle democracy if he wins this election. There will not be any more elections if he wins. Like, I've had so many people who try to talk down to me because they're like, oh, you're so driven by fear. Yeah, because I want to be able to live my life as a free, natural born American citizen who wants to make the choices that they want to make and not be stifled by anyone else who thinks that they're suddenly the country's mom or dad and that they get to tell people how to live their life. You don't. And speaking of telling people how they get to live their life, please leave fucking trans kids alone. Please leave fucking trans people alone. It is not your life. Anything going on with those children and their families is between them and their doctors, the parents, the child, and the doctors. You, as an outside force, do not get to tell people what to do with their kids. The same way we can't tell y'all that you can't send your kid to a Catholic school or whatever the fuck. Okay? Please leave those fucking people alone. Just because you don't like it or you disagree with it does not mean shit. It's not your life. It's not your child. That's it. Period. Mind your fucking business. Like, that's one thing I can say, like, as far as like America goes, that I really, really just grinds my fucking gears is certain people don't know how to mind their fucking business. Just because you live your life one way does not mean you get to tell everybody how to live their life. That's not what the purpose of legislation is. That's not what the purpose is. You don't get to make laws that say, okay, well, I feel this way, so I'm going to put this law in place that says everybody has to do exactly what I say. That's not how that works. And the fact that people just keep going along with this kind of shit is sad. It's pathetic. It's gross. It's horrible. I wish y'all would rub the brain cells in your brain together, charge up a little electricity, and realize that you are being lied to by an old man and the cronies behind him who are pushing for him to win so they can implement horrible policies that strip you of your rights and your ability to live as an average person. If Donald Trump were to win, you think Frogan would just be banned? No, they would probably plaster that little girl's address on the internet and probably try to have her arrested. Someone would go and find her if this was Donald Trump's America. However, this is still Joe Biden's America. You can say whatever you want, and people are free to be upset with you and are free to criticize you because you are rightly in, like, you are deserving of criticism. Open dialogue and criticism is what makes this country run. Not stifling, not you don't get to talk if you don't agree with me. That's not how this fucking works. But that is the way people want this country to be ran. You shut up if you don't agree with me. When has that ever been democracy? When has that ever been how the country works? So I meant to make this short, and of course I start running my fucking mouth. And that is what it fucking is. But I'm gonna cut it here because I do need to work on the other video, because that one I do want to have more nuance. I do want to have uh like I said, more like a more put together thought process and things like that. This is just me ranting because it's genuinely boggling my mind. And honestly, it's scaring me that people are refusing to take a step back and say a convicted fucking felon should not be the president of the United States. I don't think it's that weird of a thing to think or want. But in the meantime, I hope this video finds you well. I hope you are able to have a good day while you still can, because the way it's looking with everything being neck and neck, we don't know what's gonna fucking happen. And at this point, I don't know either. I just pray that I pray that evil loses. And that's not to say that Kamala and Tim are the good guys, because they're definitely still sending weapons to Israel. They definitely are not championing stopping that shit. But it is what it is. Um, Hopefully in the meantime you can have a more positive day. Do something nice for yourself. Go outside, smell the fresh air, touch some grass, maybe even pet a dog. And I don't know. Hopefully, just hold on to your ass and pray that more people want to see life as we know it continue than don't.